Thanks for taking time to watch the video. Today I'm going to look at Callaway's XR Steelhead. So what they've done is, back around 2000, Callaway had the X14 Steelhead, and it was a hugely popular club. It was long and forgiving and everybody wanted it. And it wasn't cheap at the time. It was quite an expensive club, yet it was still hugely popular simply because of the ease of strike and the consistent ball flight on it. So Callaway say that they have brought it back now because you guys requested it apparently. I don't know what the email address is when you want an old club brought back, but apparently it's doable. You can write to somebody, and if enough people do, this is the result. So they've taken that design, that look of the X14, which again was hugely popular, and they've married it up with the XR range, the technology that they have in the XR range. So they've got their Cup 360 technology, which they're saying is allowing the face to just flex a little more and increase ball speed off the face, which we all want because ball speed ultimately leads to carry distance or extra distance. They've also then maintained the bore through, which has allowed them to, the weight that they're saving there by having it as a bore through, they can then distribute here around the cavity back and make it more forgiving because the weight there just makes the club head that little bit more stable. The other thing they've done then is they have what's called progressive center of gravity. So on the long clubs, the center of gravity is quite low, which makes it easier for you to get the ball airborne, get it up there. It's a little bit of assistance. On the shorter irons then, as you go down into 8, 9 wedge and so on, the center of gravity gets progressively higher, and that gives you a slightly more penetrating flight with those clubs. So you can, it doesn't balloon up in the air, you can still hit it into the greens quite nicely. One thing they've done, I've seen in their bump, and I'm not really sure about this, they have put what I would call a dampener into the back of the club. So on off-centered hits, it reduces the amount of vibration in the club head. Now, for me, that necessarily isn't a good thing because I like that feedback through my hands. I don't even wear a glove playing golf. I like the feedback through my hands. I like to know where the strike was. So we'll see how that goes in terms of how much or how little feel there actually is when you strike one, good or bad. So gonna head over to the net, hit a few and see where we're at. So in terms of the look of the club, when I look down on the head of it, I mean, it's like all clubs, it's shiny. So if you're into shiny things, perfect for you. Every new club is though, that's the only downside. But when I look down, it's traditional kind of look. It's what I expect when I think of the old X14 Steelhead. Not too thick, there's a slightly thick top line, but not too thick. It's quite nice. It's not hugely offset. So a lot of the clubs, especially like this, would be in the Game Improver range. A lot of the clubs in the Game Improver range, they're hugely offset to stop, in theory, stop people from slicing it as much as they do. When you look down on this thing, it's a marginal offset, which appeals to my eye certainly. I do like, and I always like this with Callaway, on the face of the club, they have the alignment lines and they are clear. They're a strong white paint which makes them very clear and I think helps me align the club face. I could be wrong, but I think it does. Okay, so in terms of hitting it, and let's hope we might get one or two of them half decent, but I wouldn't go putting money on it. A little bit toey, but not the worst. Not the worst strike I've ever put on it. Oh, carry is way down, 147. Smash factor is quite low as well at 131. I would expect that to be up about 137 with a 7-iron, 138 in that range. Spin rates are dreadfully low. Worryingly low, down at 5,000. Let's have another pop and see where this thing goes. Again, toed. 147 again. Spin rates are higher. Smash factor is still very, very weak. Dropping yardage. Let's see if we can strike one clean. Ish. Not wonderful. Jumps up to 156. Launching a bit better, 18.5. I launch it a little bit low, but then I generally spin it quite a lot. Let's see again. On the feel on it, actually it's quite interesting with the dampener because I can feel the impact to the mat. I can feel that it's an off-center hit. Yeah, they may have dampened it down, but I'm still getting plenty of feel back into my fingertips, which is important to me. Yeah, that's the toe hit again. I've been consistently poor, but consistent. We give it one more. See if we can get a good hit. Was half decent. Smash is at 138, so that's solid. 158 carry. Not huge. The launch is consistent with my own clubs. Spin rates are consistent with my own clubs. Carry distance probably down a fraction. I'm tempted to hit one more. This is the problem I have in your own swing room and trackman and that. Sometimes you just keep hitting golf balls because it's fun. Let's be honest, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't. Okay, good clean hit. Come on, baby. That one was struck. I like that one. 138 smash. 167. So that's probably the first one that I've really hit well. 167 is more where I expect to see the 7-iron. Spin rates are very, very low. For a 7-iron, like it's running at 5,000, which is very low. And maybe that's a good thing. Especially if you hit a high. If you're one of these guys that hit the high cut, yeah, lower spin rates might be an advantage. So we'll take a pop back over to the TV screen and we'll have a look at some of the shots that we just hit. So I've hit 6 shots with the XR Steelhead. I'm a little bit surprised because in their online information they talk about this dampener that's in there to reduce the amount of vibration when you have off-centered hits. But actually I found the feedback to my hands was quite good. I was fully aware of where I was hitting it on the face. It certainly didn't dampen that down too much, so happily surprised on that one. In terms of the feel of the club, nice feel to it, nice balance, nice weight, as you would expect with all clubs made by the main manufacturers anyway, but certainly a nice club to look at, nice feel in the hands, and when I caught it, it went where I expected it to go. On the off-centered hits, I still got a good bit of distance, you know, still running maybe 150 and a couple of them 155, which they were pretty poor hits. I mean, they were heavy and they were out on the toe. Still got decent carry distance on it. Club head was quite stable, so I didn't see an awful lot of rotation on the club face at impact, or certainly didn't feel it. And I don't think the results suggested that the toe hit caused it to twist open or anything like that. In fact, most of the toe hits ended up as baby draws, and then I just carved one, which we won't talk about, but every so often I carve one, and there you are. It was in there. So in terms of the averages on those shots, smash factor at 134 is quite low, and that's kind of indicative of the fact that I did miss-hit 2 or 3 of them at the start. I caught them a little bit heavy and off the toe as well. They came out, that's what I would expect on my launch angle anyway. I run about 18.5 degrees in the initial launch. Spin rate 6,000. I found the spin rates were kind of low a little. Now that's a good thing. If you're someone who curves a ball, lower spin rates, obviously less curvature. So there's a positive there, certainly for the game improver market, the guys who tend to spin it to create a bit of curvature. Height 88, it's probably low for me. I burst this thing way up into the stratosphere, so 88 feet is probably a little bit low, but still a nice kind of flight. It's very, very controllable flight. Average carry was 153.5. How do I say this and still be nice to myself? Considering how poorly I hit the ball, that's good yardage. I really did catch a couple of them very heavy, caught about 3 or so at the start, way out on the toe. So yeah, I think the yardage was quite good considering how poor the strike itself was. And in terms of the scatter pattern here, they're consistent. They came off, okay, I had one that I cut, but that was definitely human error. The rest of them have this consistent baby draw flight, even when I hit it out the toe, which is my normal flight, is a baby draw. So yeah, overall I thought it performed really well. It is aimed at the game improver market, so the things that are important really to you guys watching this video is the spin rates being down, certainly going to help reduce curvature. And the fact that even though I didn't strike the ball pure off the middle of the club face, I still got quite a good carry distance out of it, and I would expect that will translate. Okay, you may not carry it where I carry it, or you may carry it further, but the percentage loss of distance would be consistent across players, so I wouldn't expect you to lose a huge amount on poorly struck shots. So all in all, Callaway Steelhead, nice club. I do like the retro kind of thing. I like going back to the old style clubs. That's my thing. Technology certainly seems to work in it. It seems to have a fast face. It seems to just have that something that's going to get that ball out there. So hope you enjoyed the review. Hope this maybe helps you in your decision making as you look to clubs for the new season. And we'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care.